Welcome to Audacity Works, a podcast inspired by and dedicated to the working artist, the creative entrepreneur, and generally, doing the damn thing. This exists on the premise that the world belongs to those who have the audacity to believe that their lives have value. This is for you. Welcome to Audacity Works. I am your host, Rachel Strickland, and this is episode number 189, and it is by request from my girl, Monica. Monica has asked me for a new moon ritual, and that's what I'm going to give you. Of note, this will be different from the, it's not, I hate the word manifesting. I do. I don't like it. It's been ruined. It's just like too many white people using that word in irresponsible ways. I don't like it. So I need a better word. But anyway, several whatevers ago, I released a podcast about a waxing moon ritual. It's episode 173, A Spell for the Waxing Moon. The waxing moon is any time between the new moon, when it's totally dark and you can't see it, and the full moon, when it's totally bright and you can't help but see it if the sky is clear. Any time within that period, you can do a spell for the waxing moon and for manifesting, for increasing things that you desire to increase. How's that? It's a little cumbersome, but we'll get there. Since I've already given you a spell for that, I'm not going to repeat myself. And by the way, you can increase things you want to increase at any time. You don't have to wait for the right phase of the moon. You don't have to wait for the stars to be in alignment. You can do whatever workings you want, whatever time you want. It's just an option for you if you want to use the power of something that's already happening in the natural world, then you can do that. Or you can ignore it. It's fine. Whatever you want to do. And anyone who tells you, no, you can't do that working at this time, you can only do it at this time, you should probably stop listening to them. Because they're working under some human-imposed guidelines. And I don't support that. But anyway, I digress. First off, let's do some housekeeping. If you have been watching me in any of the online spaces, you'll know that the muse has visited me, and I have cooked up something delicious that is coming in August of 2026. It is called 7 Deadly Satisfactions, and I'm going to use the 7 deadly sins and some other tools of purity culture to use them as a weapon against itself. We're going to claim back our whole fucking humanity, and it's going to be really fun, and it's going to be playful, and I hesitate to say easy, because some of it might not be easy, but it will be fun, and it's going to be super affordable, and it's coming in August. So if you want to be on the list to that, I'm only launching it to the waitlist. So if you're already on my email list, you'll still need to tap that little button so that you get notified. I cannot wait to do this with you. It's gonna be the shit. And I hope this is gonna be a good example of the way that I deliver functional woo. I don't believe in unfunctional woo. Well, not that I don't believe in it, but I don't care to practice it. So, I am a functionalist. I like for things to have a purpose and a meaning and to function in my life in productive, meaningful, and benevolent and pleasurable ways. So that's what I plan to do. And this is also going to be not only for the woo inclined, but for the woo curious. Because I've heard from a lot of people, they're like, I'm not woo, but I like your woo. It makes sense. I'm like, awesome. What a profound compliment. Thank you so much. So frankly, I'm just going to continue being myself. And this will be an extension of that. So get thee to the show notes. please, and that will be there for you if you want to sign up. 7 Deadly Satisfactions. I also have one more little bit of news. Do you remember Creatrix? We didn't have Creatrix this year, and it's a good thing that we didn't, because I listened to my instinct. My instinct said, girl, take a break. So I did, and it's a good thing, because I would not have been able to deliver it this past May. What a shit show. However, I am bringing it back for May of 2027. There is a waitlist for that as well in the show notes. I know you'll have to click all of the little clickies, but it is honestly the best way for me to let you know what is coming without relying on the meta overlords who famously don't like showing my stuff to people. I think it's because I use the word witch. Also, I use the word sunroom in my Instagram stories because I like to write morning pages in the sunroom. And sunroom is also like a sex worker site. I think they don't like that. Gonna keep doing it anyway. Anyway, all that stuff is in the show notes. Let's get on to the good stuff. The next new moon is on June 14th. This is my friend Monica's birthday, and she writes to me and says, I'm excited about stepping into this new decade on a new moon. I'm planning to have some close friends celebrating with me. I'd love to partake in a ritual together. So in addition to this being a new moon ritual, it's also going to be something that you can do with friends. So let's talk about moon magic for a second. Lunar magic. That means using the energy of the moon in its current phase to aid you in your workings. Like I said before, you don't have to wait for the moon to be in any kind of phase to do any kind of work that you want. But if you do want to align those things, it can just add a nice little boost. And I do love lunar magic, and I use it pretty frequently. You may have recalled that I am not into astrology so much. I enjoy the stories, I love the archetypes, but I just get overloaded by all the zip-zorps and the fling-bangs, and I know that makes me a bit of a pain in the ass and kind of a brat just because I don't want to learn what all that stuff means. But also, I don't have to. Like, you don't have to be an expert in every aspect of something to love it and enjoy it and to practice it. Also, lots of my friends are brilliant at it, so I can always bring them on if anyone is interested. So let's consider lunar magic. Consider the moon. And it goes through its phases from new moon, waxing to full moon, and then waning again every 28 days, hopefully forever and ever if we're really lucky. Now, the moon is always there. She's always the same. It's only our perception of the moon that changes. But since perception is kind of fucking everything, that is part of what gives it so much power, so much juice to use. So let that be the first lesson that we get to glean from lunar magic. The moon is not changing. She is always there, always steady. It's just our perception of her that alters. And a change in perception and perspective can change every aspect of your life. Actually, it doesn't change it. It just makes everything different. Like, if someone had no sense of taste, right? They didn't taste anything, and they suddenly got that sense back, the world is exactly the same. And yet, they have an entirely new experience of the world. So on that note, let's consider what new moon magic might be best for. When the moon is full, it illuminates everything. Everything is silver. It's a time of fullness, of gratitude, celebration, abundance. When the moon is new, you can't see it. It's still there, but you can't see it, which means you can see other things more clearly, like the stars. So without the focal point of the full moon, frankly, stealing all of the thunder and the focus, we have an opportunity at the new moon to investigate what is normally hidden. This is an excellent time to do some shadow work, to shine your little flashlight on aspects that might be hidden and very valuable. So I'll put a little reminder here. I went into this in detail in the previous spell for the waxing moon, but the fundamental building blocks really of ritual. This is not hard. It does not have to be a big, huge deal. It's actually very easy. The first thing to do will be to create the container for this working. You can do that physically as well as temporally. Anyway, a container in both space and time. So as a group, what this could look like is deciding what time and how much time you want to give it. Maybe setting aside half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. Deciding what room in the house you want to be, or do you want to be outside. Agreeing that when the container is opened, or rather closed, that no one will come or go. They're all going to lend themselves and their presence to the working at hand. So deciding ahead of time where you want this to be, and then there's the super fun part of adding the ambiance to that space, light candles, burn incense. If you want to use smoke to clear the space, I've dropped a couple hints on how to do that. Dried local botanicals are best, but whatever it is that you have, you can even just shake a rattle around. Sound is good at clearing energy. If you don't have a rattle, clap. You can just clap. You can sing songs. And you know that I do be liking the written word. I think it's very helpful. I have relied on writing for so much wisdom, and this is no different. So if everyone has something to write on and something to write with, I would begin, after the container is created, with writing down some confessions. Confession is good for you. It feels good, and you can burn these after in a safe and fireproof container. You don't have to share them, but like setting a certain period of time and just confessing to this piece of paper. And the point of the confession is not just the release of getting to admit things that you want to admit, but once you have spent 10 minutes or so journaling about this, I confess that I'm afraid of this or that. I confess that I passed by a homeless person on the street the other day and I didn't even look at them. I confess that I feel badly about that. I confess. After you read back over your confessions, something might become clear to you. And that something might be like, what do you see that could be a pattern of ways in which you are constrained? What rules might you be operating under that you don't actually remember agreeing to operate under and to be constrained by? You might come away with something like politeness. I am bound by the laws of polite society and I don't remember agreeing to that. And I don't always think it's the right path to choose. Or I am bound by a sense of fear over poverty and I don't remember agreeing to be afraid. Or perhaps realizing I am bound by a sense of wanting to avoid disappointing other people or letting them down or not wanting to risk my good standing in their eyes. And this is constraining my behavior. Note, none of this means you have to do anything differently. It's just information for you. After you have identified whatever constraints you might have been operating under that you weren't aware of, you get to ask yourself one more question. And this, I think, would be really powerful to be shared out loud with the group. And that question is, what is this constraint protecting me from? What is the precious thing that I am trying to protect by adhering to these constraints. This is a super beautiful flip the script way to do shadow work, because it doesn't just give you something to fight against. We have enough of those things. It highlights, it shines a flashlight on what it is that you want to protect. And doing this ritual in a group setting gives you the opportunity not just to declare to people that you love and trust, this is the precious thing that I protect. This is the precious thing that my fear protects me from. But you also get to hear from the people that you love and trust what they hold precious. So if you choose to use the intention that I've set out for you, keep your confessions private, keep your constraints private if you wish, whatever you want to do, but I would gently encourage you to share the last bit of treasure that this ritual uncovers. And it's not just for the cathartic act of sharing and hearing what other people find precious and what they're fighting for and trying to protect, but also gives you the opportunity to help each other and to share resources. And this is, I think, what they call community. Finally, at the end, when you're ready to bring the working to a close, give thanks to the space, to the hostess, to each other, to the dark moon in the sky that nobody can see, and then open the circle with intention. And in my OG coven in college, this was always my favorite part because it was wine and snacks. So this would be a good time, an appropriate time to have wine and snacks. And if you are looking for a way to open the circle, you're like, well, or close, rather. The circle, now I'm not sure which word is best. Anyway, what we came up with in the very first Creatrix, I thought was really beautiful, which is the circle is open, but unbroken. If by the end of this working, you're feeling a little giddy, like maybe there's too much energy sort of stored up in your body, you can go outside, put your hands in the dirt and give her your excess vibes, because that can feel a lot like anxiety if it doesn't move, if you don't know like how to move it through your body. So just as a little note, if that happens, then that's a quick way. Just give it back to mama. I'm looking at the time. I want to say thank you to Mo for the beautiful request. And they were like, I probably should have given you more time. I'm like, nope, this is perfect. This is perfect. So if you have requests for future episodes, I would love to hear them. You can reach me always on Instagram at Rachel Strickland Creative or on Patreon at Rachel Strickland Creative. You can also go to the show notes and click a little handy link that I only just recently noticed that says send us fan mail, and it just sends me an email, so you can say whatever you want. Super easy. This podcast is powered by Patreon, so extra velvet love to every single one of my supportive patrons. Thank you so much for standing with me. Thank you for your trust. This podcast, and indeed myself, could not exist without you, not in the way that it does. You have my gratitude forever. Until next time, my friends, happy new moon, happy precious things and identifying them, and happy birthday, Mo. Don't go back to sleep.